So Byline TV has been looking into the issue of university and the students holed up in their accommodation due to a widespread outbreak of coronavirus across the country. Now, we've come across images online of students being barricaded in by security effectively, and of fire escapes being locked shut. And we dug deeper, we decided to investigate a bit more, and we came across the story of Helen, whose daughter Lois has just gone to university to Manchester Metropolitan for the first time and has actually caught coronavirus. This is what she had to say. It'd be great if you could sort of talk me through what's happened.
Well, Lois only went to university on the 7th of September, and Lois's flat, there are 10 rooms and there are 9 students there at the moment. Anyway, she heard that somebody she had been talking to had symptoms, and so she thought, and one of her flatmates went and thought, well, we need to get tested to see. And they had to pay 14 quid in a taxi to go to the test centre. She was told the next day, it was a little bit over 24 hours, that she'd tested positive. 48 hours later, when Track and Trace got in contact with her, so all of the people who she'd been with, for example, the taxi driver who had taken her to the test centre, had spent that 48 hours not knowing that they were potentially exposed to the disease. It's just, it's a horrible feeling, really. We've left people kind of abandoned, who aren't properly equipped to look after themselves in a normal situation, let alone in a pandemic situation. Yeah. I know that Lois was very worried about one of her flatmates who has a medical condition that makes her vulnerable. But when it first happened, it was like nobody knew what they were doing. They emailed the students to say that they were locking the halls of residence down as they were locking the gates. So there was no notice at all. So then you had the situation where I don't know how many are in the halls of residence as a whole, but I know that each flat has 10 students in it. And so you're talking well over 100 people, certainly. And, lots of those people hadn't got their shopping in, and so they couldn't go out and get their shopping. They were trying to order deliveries from supermarkets, and the supermarkets were saying, we're just overwhelmed with this, so you're going to have to, the first delivery you can book is days away, and there were just no preparation. Lois was, when she first notified the university, there'd been a maintenance man the previous day come and change a bulb in her room. And she said to the university, well, I went for a test and I'm positive, and there was this maintenance man in the room. And the person she spoke to said, well, why haven't you told us sooner? And Lois said, well, I didn't know. But really, there should have been some kind of centralised approach. The government should have had a plan for universities. Lois went in September and she's barely done any of her course, and it's not just the £9,000, it's the cost of the accommodation, which really she didn't need to have gone, because nothing's happened. She hasn't even really started yet. So I think that does need to be looked at.
So speaking to Helen really brought home this issue. Her daughter Lois has gone to university for the first time, full of excitement. She's not had any advice from the government about what she should do, whether she should even go, and she ends up catching coronavirus, a deadly disease that's killed thousands of people in this country. And then it takes 48 hours for Test and Trace to get in touch with her after she's had a positive test. And it seems on all this, there's a pattern. The government doesn't want to take responsibility, and ultimately it's a pattern that doesn't look like it's going to change anytime soon.